Itadakimasu. My name is Dhanesh Wigneswaran, more commonly known as Danny. I'm 23 years old this year, and I am what they call a Gran Turismo 7 professional sim racer. I'm from Malaysia, KL specifically.
I'm Sharon from Vamitch, and today I'll be interviewing our esports player from Malaysia. Kunju, tell us about esports.
So esports is pretty much playing video games competitively on various platforms. So the kind of esports that I do is basically sim racing. Basically virtual motorsport. You drive cars based off real life, or pretty much real life cars that are digitally scanned and then they are put in the game, and then you drive these cars on racetracks which have been 3D laser scanned all over the world. And even some of them are even fictional tracks that we race on, and we race them in lobbies competitively, or sometimes we race together for fun. We race all kinds of cars, from slow commercial vehicles to fantasy cars, and we race cars from all around the world and all kinds of builds. But when it gets to the competitive side of sim racing, basically the esports aspect of sim racing, that's when it gets really hyper competitive, where everyone is trying to find the last millisecond to be faster than the competition. So it all comes down to the least amount of mistakes you made and how perfect can your driving be.
Do people get sponsored like cars and sim racing?
Yes, they get sponsored to test drive at a real local racetrack if they win like some sim racing competitions. And if they do well in the test drive, they get the opportunity to get a full-time seat with a real life racing team for certain tournaments. This has happened before on a global level with the introduction of Gran Turismo Academy from 2008 to 2015. They had a global competition to find top Gran Turismo drivers to race for Team Nissan in all over the world in their GT4 categories. And a lot of fast gamers have become some top drivers in real world racing. So yes, it's possible.
What do you mean by test drive?
They get 1 day at a real track to drive around in a real car. They get coaching from a top real life motorsport driver, how to drive a car around a real circuit, how to understand how to call it the touring car. Yes, that's the word, touring car.
Touring car.
By Malaysia we call it MSF. So they use Proton Sagas to race in Sepang.
If you test drive this like real car, then you get sponsored for sim racing, right?
You get sponsored for real life if they see that you have the potential.
Even if it comes from sim racing?
Yes. But in terms of sponsorship for sim racing only, it's possible by if you join the esports team, or if there's a certain company willing to sponsor you if they watch you from like the races that you do from the sim racing competitions.
When you go for competition or when you practice, you have to buy like the car, right? In sim racing, the game.
Yeah.
So when you buy, like people still sponsor you.
No, because the thing is, you buy the car in game through in-game credits. It's part of the framework of the game. You earn credits from single player offline races, and then or you earn credits sometimes from the online races that you do from the lobbies or official races in the esports section of the game. So you earn credits from there, and then you use your credits to buy the car. The cars that
Credit
you want.
is real money, or
No, it's just in-game credits.
do you have like a goal to drive in real life?
Yeah, preferably a test drive first, but of course you got to start somewhere. Start with the test drive, and then if it goes well from there, you never know. I think the most important thing is not only like transferring the skills from the sim to real life. It's about being physically fit. I think that's more important than anything. Something I don't have at the moment, physical fitness. I mean, yeah. So if they give like a full camp session to build my fitness up, then I think I'll be more than ready for real racing as well.
What got you into sim racing or esports games?
It's been with me my whole life. Ever since I was a kid, almost 20 years already. PlayStation 2, I played racing games from there. When I was 5, my dad bought me my first console that I owned, a PlayStation Portable in 2005. Spent hours and hours playing racing games on that. And years later, in my teens, I played a bit of those same games on my computer. I saw Gran Turismo Sport. That's about 5 years ago. Some footage of it, and I got really interested. So there was a cyber cafe near my college. I tried the game, and I got instantly hooked. And then I saw they had like a lot of competitions with that game. And I thought, okay, maybe if I start to get myself into this, I can see myself doing this for a long time. Racing has been in me my whole life actually. I just never realized it until the past 5 years. I've been watching Formula One since I was 7, so I've been a Formula One fan for 16 years.
What do you like about sim racing? Is
Well,
it like the adrenaline, the rush, the...
Number one thing for me is the competitive, close racing you get with your competition. That makes me always go and race in sim racing. It's always the close racing you get, the close side by side clean battling you get with your competition. That is satisfying. Of course, other reasons would be like, you want to have ambitions, you want to qualify for like the World Series, and then you qualify for Toyota competitions, try and win competitions. Just enjoy pretty much driving. You have the passion for driving, you enjoy sim racing a lot.
I see that you're also into anime, right?
Mhm.
So what got you into anime also?
During the pandemic time, some of my friends recommended me to watch some anime, and then I was like, okay, this anime is pretty cool. This is the first time I got hooked onto one particular series, and I just binge watched the whole night. One season, and then the other night another season, and then I found more anime through the recommended site on Netflix, and then I just watched.
Did you go to the conventions? Is it anime convention?
I go to conventions at least once a month, but there was one time I went to conventions every week for like 2 months.
Wait, they have it weekly?
These are the smaller events. The big events are like 4 to 5 times a year, like Comic Festa, the biggest one in Malaysia. Already at 21 years they've been having it. So, if you exclude the 2 years of COVID, I mean, you have the cosplay doing live streams, but it's not the same.
What's the most exciting thing when you go to these conventions?
I think the most exciting thing is meeting your idols. Talking with them, buying merchandise from them, taking photos with them. Yeah, and it's overall a great time. And then you get to meet your other friends as well. From there, do content with them. It's a lot of fun. But of course, the only thing that's not fun about these events is waiting in line.
How long do you have to wait?
I think the longest I've waited in line to enter an event was 4 hours. To be fair, I reached the place at 5 in the morning.
Do they like stay overnight, some of them?
Some of them stay overnight. No wonder they're in the front of the line.
When we met last week, you mentioned that you stay alone, right?
Yeah, I stay alone.
So how long has it been?
I've been living alone for 4 years now. Well, technically 5. You count the year 2018 when I moved back here after a year and a half. I lived overseas for a year and a half.
Was it tough living alone?
Yeah, it was. At first, it was a bit tough, but I found my footing. I found I knew what to do already at that point, because I seen how things are done, and I could adapt. For me, it's I could just adapt to anything.
What was the lowest point in your life that you didn't treat yourself right?
I think this was like 2 years ago. I was still at my old house, This was during an online season where I think all the things that didn't go my way earlier that year. I had a lot of bad races, and then it affected my mental health a lot. And I just doubted myself a lot. I had a lot of negative energy with me that time. It just didn't think right because again, I doubted myself whether I would actually make it further than I would have in sim racing actually at that point, because I even doubted my skill level. I doubted why I was doing this. And then there was one point I thought I was better than I was, and I tried to use that as motivation, but it did not work. Then I had to get some friends to help me mentally rebuild myself later on, and with their help I recovered, and now I'm having got a positive mindset.
Okay.
Yeah, so it worked out for the best.
Do you mind sharing like what was it that you didn't treat yourself kindly?
I think just stressing myself out too much on focusing too much on time trial as opposed to focusing on my own consistency, time management in the races back in the older game of Gran Turismo that we were on 2 years ago. You see, it's getting technical now, so I kept thinking that my time trial pace will be the same as my race pace, so I pushed too hard in the races. I pushed too hard, and then I kept dropping back, and I was getting frustrated every single day. Why is my skill not matching my expectation? So there's the imbalance. What I think is the polar opposite of what's actually happening. So that caused an unbalance in my mentality. So that really broke me.
So it's like you force yourself too much into achieving your expectation and also like push yourself too hard.
Yeah. Push myself too hard. Yeah.
Did you regret anything that you did?
A lot of regrets, yes. And also, I should have maybe used the same mentality I'm having now back then. Then maybe I wouldn't have suffered so much. But the thing is, if I go back in time, I won't still fix the mistake because mistakes happen for a reason. For me, we learn from mistakes. We go from mistakes. That's how we get better. So I use that time of my life as the example of what not to fall back to. And it's an example of how the kind of mentality you should not have in sim racing. The one where you force yourself too much to, you have unbalanced expectations. Some of my other friends began to notice it when I told them, when I talk to them in like our group chats. They noticed that and they helped me. They helped me a lot. Regain my mental strength. Told me to take a different approach.
How did they help you?
Resetting my mindset to clear off any expectations. Try and focus on not trying to be consistent in the races. More consistent. Be more smooth with the driving. Don't force myself too much. Trying to get perfect times in the races if you can't manage the car properly. You know what I mean? So
They are also like esports players.
Yes. They're not only esports, they're my close rivals, but we are also friends. So
That's the fun of it.
That's the fun of sim racing. Like, so close rivals, we fight each other on track, but off the track we are very close. We are very close.
Would you say that you've shown yourself kindness after the experience?
Yeah, I've definitely shown kindness from myself to them and then self to me. So it goes both ways. Positive energy creates positive energy between one another, and it helps each other be better in the longer run.
So like a true and strong friendship foundation.
Yeah,
What advice would you give to your audience?
never give up. Basically, if you are passionate about something, if you like what you do, put your heart and soul into it. You will see the results when you spend a lot of time doing something that you love. You have to be really, really passionate if you really love something that you do. Yeah.
Would you like to talk about your Barcelona trip?
Yes, I'm going to be in Barcelona for the Gran Turismo World Series World Final. I'll be representing Team Malaysia to the Nations Cup on December 3rd alongside my teammates Taj Aiman and Iqbal Suji. So we will be racing against 11 other countries, and we'll try our best to get a very good result in the World Final for Nations Cup. So catch us live on the Gran Turismo TV YouTube channel and also Gran Turismo Facebook page. The races will be held at 11 p.m. Malaysian time on December 3rd. So be sure to give us your support.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.